Good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. And I'm straight in tonight on the page. I didn't want the introduction tonight. We're testing new things out. You know what it's like. And so I thought I'd just come straight in live. So just to take you by surprise. Now then, we got the sound on, which is good. I can see that. I can see that we're live, and that's even better. So all I got to do is share this to my group, because sometimes we forget to do that. So I'm going to try and do that now. So I'm going to copy the link and then go back to where my group is. Now you know what the group is. It's the Making It Monday group. Now if you haven't joined that, please do that, because that's where everybody posts their makes. So everybody that's anybody posts their makes, and yeah, so we can see what you've been up to. So this is project number 28. So welcome, and this is Irene. So hi to everybody that's joining now. We've got lots and lots of viewers already. So I'll say hello to a few people on there. So hello to Caroline and Chris, June, Jeanette, Sue, Kath. I can see you all joining. There's Linda as well, Joan, Jean, Bridget and Rachel, Maureen. Oh gosh, lots and lots of people. So lovely to see you. And of course it's been Bank Holiday Mondays here in the UK, so it's been absolutely super hot, hasn't it? It's been absolutely lovely. So I hope you're all ready to make Irene. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? I love her. Got nothing in her, so she's not padded out, but she's ready to rock and roll. Now of course you know the little iron will go in there, and when I first made Irene, I made this version, which I didn't put any straps on. I just wanted it as a simple iron caddy, and it's still got the Decaville in the bottom, it's still got wadding, still got the zip, and I put zip tabs on the ends, and I found that it reduced the size of the opening just a little bit too much. I could get the iron in, but I thought I think it would be easier if we didn't have the zip tabs. Now you can put zip tabs in if you like, if you know how to do it, and please fill your boots, and if you want to make the bag a little bit bigger for maybe, I don't know, maybe for you to go out with, or maybe to your granddaughter or your daughter, then of course you can, and you can enlarge it as well. You could try putting it through your printer on and upping the percentages on your printer. There's all sorts of things you can do, but this is the pattern. This is the pattern. That's no zip tabs, with the handles, Decaville, wadding, zip. So that's what we're going to make tonight, and then you can obviously make your own adult adaptations. I'll get my teeth in a minute. So yeah, so we're good to go with that. I wanted to talk briefly about the pattern, because we had a little bit of confusion about the pattern the other day, and I'm going to tell you about what's happening in the MIM group as from today, really. So at the back you've got pattern piece A, and then over the other page you've got pattern piece B. Okay, now there was a lot of questions on how do we cut it, how do we work it. Now look, if you've never worked with patterns a lot, or you're not a dressmaker or anything like that, where you haven't worked with patterns a great deal, that's what I'm trying to say, you may not know what on earth I'm talking about. And it says in the pattern, it says on the actual pattern pieces themselves, join piece A to B. Now you can see, I'm going to try and hold it, A to B, that's how it's joined together. I've put a bit of tape on the back, let me show you, just about to see it, bit of tape on the back, and you can see that the fold, because this is where the fold is, maybe I should have put fold on there, but that's kind of like a universal language for fold. But like I said, if you haven't done anything like this before, you wouldn't know. So this is where you cut on the fold along that long edge. Now somebody else suggested that you actually put these side by side, which I'm going to just see if I can, I don't know if I can rip my tape or take it off. Oh, I wish I'd thought about this before. I'm not going to be able to do it. I can cut it with my scissors. Good plan. That's what we got scissors for. So the other way that somebody suggested, which is fine, but that isn't the pattern, is that you put your pieces like that. Okay. Now you can see that the arrows are actually facing each other, which that's why the pattern was written the way it was, because that way it works, that way it looks very peculiar. But you could, if you wanted to join that pattern together like that, and where it says A and B, I've run out of hands, where it says A and B, you can put that on the fold if you want to, because it's absolutely the same pattern piece all round. That makes sense? So that's up to you, but I wanted to cover that because, you know what, in the future you will find patterns that I've done that has that fold line on there with the arrow. Maybe I should have put fold on there. I can't think of everything, but I was pretty confident that you would all know that a line like that with 2 lines down and an arrow means cut on the fold. And if you do a lot of dressmaking, you come across that all the time. Anyway, there we are. Move on. So that's the pattern. So what you needed to do was to cut one of the out of the outer, my gorgeous pretty French fabric there, and preferably not directional, otherwise you're going to get into bother. You could put a seam on the bottom, but I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And then you've got a lining piece as well. Okay, so that's your lining piece. You should also have 2 straps that have been stabilized. 14 inches by 3 inches off the top of my head. I have got the pattern here. I suppose I could just refer to it really, couldn't I? 14 by 3. Just slightly smaller than a 1-inch strap that we normally make. So again, a little bit of a change, not much. And we're going to iron these straight from the beginning. I've got me a stabilizer on, but I'm going to put quilter's tape top and bottom to turn my edges over because we want neat edges. We're going to do that straight off. A zip, I've said an 8-inch zip. This is probably more like 14, so it's whatever you've got, but it's got to be more than obviously the width of the top of the bag. And it says on the pattern zip placement, so you know what that is, that measurement there. So mine's really super long. So that's it. Oh, and your piece of Decaville, which is 6, oh god, I can't remember, 6.5 by 4. There we go. Now look, if you haven't got Decaville, please don't worry. I use it quite a bit, so maybe in the future you might want to get some. It's the light, so it's a little bit more forgiving than the regular Decaville, but you could use 2 layers of H250 or a medium weight iron-on stabilizer, and that gives you a nice flat bottom. Okay, that's the idea about using Decaville. So hello to everybody that's watching. Somebody's saying sorry they're late. That's fine. Oh, it's Fiona. It doesn't matter. Do you know what, I wouldn't actually notice Fiona, and that's a really big admission. So what we've got is our Decaville, and that sits on the, I'm going to turn your camera, but it sits right in the center of the base of your pattern piece, and then we put the wadding on top. Okay, so if I change this to the side camera, you'll be able to see, hopefully the light's good enough, you'll be able to see there's my pattern piece. Let's just get some of the stuff out of the way, see if we can do that fairly well. And I've put the Decaville right slap bang in the middle. Okay, and what they suggest with Decaville is that you actually use a wet cloth to stick this down, which yes, it does work. It works quite well. There's no reason why you can't do that, but actually I found if I just put a little bit of best press on there, oh, Jackie says her barbecue is just about to be ready. Oh, that's bad timing, Jackie. So I found using a little bit of best press works just as well. Maybe they use the damp cloth to protect the Decaville. I don't know. I haven't sort of asked any questions. I just do what I do. So you can try using your Decaville with the best press, or you can use, as the instructions tell you to do, is to use a damp cloth. So it's kind of stuck that side, but what I like to do is flip it over and make sure that the whole thing is pressed, and also it's dry, because obviously we've put some spray on there. So there's our Decaville now nicely adhered. Look, it's really well stuck down. And then what you can do is, I'll leave my iron on because we're going to do the straps in a sec. Then you can put your wadding over the top. Now I've actually put spray on this already, so let's just peel that apart and try and get it back down as it should be. I'm pushing my luck a little bit, but as long as it's covered. Now look, if you want to take a 1/4 inch off your wadding, so your seams are less 1/4 inch, then do that, because that does reduce the bulk and it might be better for your machine. So if you want to try that, you do that. It all helps, it really does. So look, there's my Decaville under there, there's my wadding over the top, and look, even with peeling it off really carefully, it's stretched. Wadding will stretch. I'm inclined to trim it away, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay, now the other thing is, in the pattern and written down, and also in the pattern piece themselves, are the positions of the straps. Now it depends on what you find easier for you. So what you can do is place your pattern piece over the top, and you can get a pen. Let me just reach over and get a pen, and you can literally pop a hole through your cross. So I'll lift that up if you can't see it, and then I can flip that over. I've got the other piece to use if I want to. Flip it over, I've got the hole, so just make a line, and I'm putting that line right in the center of where the dot is. So my dot is right in the center, and I've done a line kind of like either side, if you like. I think you can see it okay, look, just there. And then you're going to do the same the other side. So we're good to go when we come to put the straps on there. So, and the straps sit right on that line. And let's flip it over again. And again, just pop your pen through and just make your line. Okay, so we're good to go with that. It's looking lovely. I'm looking at the monitor. If you wonder what I'm staring at, I've got a big monitor in front of me that I make sure that you can just about see what I'm up to. It helps. So yes, you could add rivets. Do you know what? I'm going to just say this once, because I'll be accused of repeating myself. What I like to think of is that the Making It Monday pattern is a very simple, easy pattern to put together, and it's usually something that you could do in an hour or so. It's not a difficult project. It shouldn't be a difficult project, but if you are an experienced stitcher and you've got a few miles under your pincushion like me, then you can of course do whatever you like. Okay, so you can put your rivets in, you can put straps on, you can leave the straps off, you can make the pattern bigger, you can make the straps longer, you can put zip tabs on the ends. You don't have to. You get my drift, get my drift. So you can ask the question, but I'm just going to say, well, why not? Why not? So there is my outer piece, which has the wadding on it, and then I've got my lining piece just there. So we're all good to go. So now we're going to do the straps, and we've done this before with straps. It's a lot of stitching, is repetition. And sometimes if you're a new stitcher, that's exactly what you need, because it means that you're always going to know, you're going to have that experience under your belt, if you like. And let me just get that straightened up. Oh, gosh, I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing. So I'm just putting the quilter's tape on the end. Okay, it's very clear in the pattern, actually, very clear in the pattern. So I've put that quilter's tape on the end. I haven't pressed anything yet. All I've done is, yes, Audrey. I'm just going to say yes, you can do whatever you like. The idea is I give you the basics of how to put the bag together, how to cut it out like we've done tonight, quirky things that are perhaps on the pattern that you don't understand, you know, and that's it really. And then from there you can do anything. That's the joy of a Making It Monday project, because they are super duper easy, and I've seen so many different variations on all of the Making It Monday patterns. It's fab. So I put quilter's tape on the ends of both my straps. I'm going to say all my straps, there's two. I don't know if you can see the quilter's tape just here. If you've got me on a large screen, you'll see. And so all we're going to do is take that tape off and then press just push the ends over, and then we'll press our straps. So I'll put you on the side view. There we go. Make sure we can come back to you in just a moment. So I'm going to get my little mat ready. So there we are, you've got the tape sitting along the top. It's lovely, it's just shiny, so it's catching the light. So you'll just literally, and make sure when you put it on, you just scrape it with your nail, because that embeds the glue strip into your fabric, and it should be a lot easier to pick the backing off. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So there's our glue strip. Gosh, there's a huge amount of instructions there from Christine. Goodness me, Christine. Well, those are the sort of comments you ought to put in the group if you've got lots of instructions for us of what you can do. Marvellous. So look, just fold it over with the quilter's tape. You can see how that works. And both ends are the same. So we're just going to do the same again. I've never seen so much writing on a on a comment. Okay, so take that one off as well, and then just fold that over. The thing about posting things like that is sometimes they get really lost, and nobody thinks to go back into the Facebook Live to look at those instructions. That's why I said, you know, if you've got something really clever to tell us about, then put it in the Making It Monday group as a post, and then we can all see it and we can all share it. As Carol says, oh, you sent me some stars. Oh, Carol, that's so kind. Because you know what, I don't promote that. I don't promote it. I'm not here to make anything from you. I just do it because I want to. So we're just folding that in half. And of course, if you wanted to, again, just like the wadding, you don't have to put your H250 or stabiliser right to the end. You could have it 1/4 of an inch, especially on the ends. You could have it 1/4 of an inch finishing, and that way you've got less bulk. But to be perfectly honest, it's not too much. I think your machine would be fine. So all I'm doing now is I'm folding it again. So one of my long sides is now going to the middle. And I sometimes do 2 at the same time, and sometimes I don't. But you can see we've done one side. Sorry. Oh dear me, I'm just giggling at something here. So, oh dear. Now, who got the sunshine today? Who got the sunshine? Both my girls are out and about today. I was very envious, but I had to do lots of work here, so I couldn't go. Otherwise, I would have done. Right, so can you see what we've done with the long strap? Gosh, that's so hot. You know what I need, guys? I need my clapper. Oh, don't set me off with my clapper again. So we're just going to fold in half again. And this will make you a smaller strap than normal. Look, a 1-inch strap for this bag is just a wee bit too big. Okay, that's the reason why I did it as a 3-inch strap instead of a 4-inch strap. Okay, so you can see how lovely that clapper works. And of course now it's not so hot. So there's our first one, but obviously we've got to top stitch all that. And then we're going to do the same again. Now look, if any of my admin team are watching, and I think most of them are having barbecues and all sorts of lovely things, just don't tell me, guys, what you're doing. Just don't tell me. If there's any questions, my admin team will absolutely answer you. If they don't, because they're having too fun a time somewhere else, just don't tell me. I will answer them after the Facebook Live. If this will be recorded for YouTube, I wasn't going to risk YouTube this week, so I will always answer those questions on YouTube as well. So if you're watching later on this evening on YouTube, please ask your questions. I am more than happy to answer. If I don't know, I will always say, I don't know. Or sometimes I'll just say, Google it, because some people ask me for all sorts of links and all that sort of thing. Well, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to sell somebody else's products. I'm just here to do a nice little pretty make for you. So I just say, Google it. I did that last week, and everybody was in hysterics that I said that. So, all right, there we are. So we've got both straps done now. So look, I'm going to top stitch those. And what I'll do is I'll come back to the front, because it doesn't make sense, does it, come back to the front? Because all I'm doing is top stitching. But with top stitching, you're doing at least an eighth of an inch. I mean, it's not even that, 1/16 of an inch. I don't want great big heavy top stitching on these little deer straps, so keep it nice and neat. The other thing, if I can find one of my pokey tools, one of my stilettos, is that when you've got this, when you're going over this top edge, you don't want to see any raw edges at the top. Let me show you on the side camera, and then I'll come back, because again, you don't want to see any frayed edges. So let me just show you as near as I possibly can. Do you see there's a little frayed edge there? Because we've got the raw edges sitting inside. So when you go to stitch that, use a sharp instrument. I obviously use a stiletto, and push that in. Push that in. You don't need to push it very far, but just push it in with your sharp point, because you don't really want that to show. So keep that nice and neat. Okay, and oftentimes when you look at videos on YouTube, let me just come back to you. When you see videos on YouTube, oftentimes you'll see people with a stiletto in their hand all the time, guiding their work, pushing it through, adjusting it, holding it down. It's a really, really useful thing to have. If you want a very ornate one, then you want to message Trisha Boyd. Okay, Trisha Boyd. She's one of the gold members, but she's also she'll be commenting somewhere, either on this live or, but yeah, anyway, try to find her. Because she makes the most amazing ones. I don't suppose for a minute I can see it or show it to you, but they're lovely. They're made of wood. It's just so happens, it's like everything else, isn't it? We have loads of these things, and then you don't kind of lose them. And then you find the other one that you might have had, and so you can see, I know you can't see very much, but you can see that I'm using the stiletto to help me hold the fabric, push it through, and make sure that those raw edges are sitting where they should do. So there's no point you going to the side camera for this, because I'm literally top stitching, but I'll show you what I've done when I'm finished. Hope we don't run out of thread. We shouldn't do, because I was videoing the other day, and I ran out of thread right in the middle of a video, and I was, you know, when you just, you know, you're getting going and you're doing well, perhaps not with a video yourself, but you know what I mean. And I'd stitched for ages with no thread. It was really tiresome. So, yeah, I know. There's bigger things that happen in life, isn't there, than me running out of thread. So these make really nice, a nice length of handle. Now look, I'm coming up to this other end and I can already see a little frayed bit sticking out, right? So I'm just going to use my stiletto and I'm pushing it in. I don't want to see it. And try and get your folded edges to meet up. It's not always easy, but just try. And then when I've stitched this, I'll show you what it looks like. And the next thing we're going to do is to put these handles onto the bag. They kind of get in the way most of the time, but it's better to do it now. So let's just, yes, so Cindy says, Cindy, can you tag Trisha? Can you see if you can tag her? I'm not sure if you can. See how I get on. If you can't, don't worry. I'll do it later. So I'll just show you now the straps that I've just done. So I just picked one up at random. So you can see I haven't quite got my folds together there. I don't mind showing you. But you can see that my ends are absolutely gorgeous. There's no frayed bits sticking out. It's really lovely and neat. And can you see my top stitching is really close to the sides of the fabric, basically. Okay, so it makes a really neat strap. And then I'm just going to do a rectangle to stitch them on. So a rectangle being, I'm just going to place it on top. Okay, can you see okay? I'm asking you like I'm expecting an answer. And I've put the strap, I want you to have a look at this. There's my dot. And there's the mark I made, just a straight line. And I'm just literally putting my strap on the edge of, let me just bring it forward a bit. There we go. I'm just putting it on the edge of the line. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the line of my stitching along the bottom, up about 1/2 inch, across and down. Okay, it's a rectangle. If you want to do a cross, do a cross, but that's not what the pattern is. I always show you what the pattern is. So up there, over there, down there. Okay, that's your rectangle. You do it once on each strap. Did you manage? Oh, somebody must have tagged her, because I can see there's lots of Patricia Boyd names. Bless her heart, she's going to get loads of messages now. So I wonder if you want to see this. Do you want to see this while I'm stitching? I'll move my machine in because get it lined up so you can see. I haven't got my third camera tonight. Like I say, we've just heavily invested in some new technology, and which I'm really pleased about. But I don't get it until tomorrow, Wednesday, I think. So look, there's my line. You won't be able to see it very, very well, but there's my line. I'm just lining that up. Now look, if you want to hold it straight, pop a pin in. A clip won't do. I'm not sure I can do this while I'm holding it there. Oh, not too bad. Pop a pin in, and that holds it nice and straight for you. And you're just going to stitch there. Okay, you're not going to stitch anywhere up here at all, otherwise you'll have problems. So I'll just place it down again. I'm going to start off about 1/2 inch away from the bottom. Stitch length on just your regular 2.5 is fine, and then I'm just coming across. Okay, hard to see, I know, but I'm doing my best. And then down, across. It's not very straight, and then and I haven't been on the sherry, don't worry. And then back up. Okay, so that's your box done. So then what we'll do is we're going to take this strap here. Don't forget, you're going to put one strap on one side, one strap on another, and then you're going to stitch this one. So let's just start it there again. It goes on the line. It doesn't go, you don't place it over the top. It butts up to the line. So just about, I don't know, 6 stitches on 2.5, something like that. Not too many. keep it nice and straight. Keep it nice and straight. Pin it if you need to, and then come all the way across. I'll do one more stitch will do it. Oh, Trisha's there. Well done, Trisha. Thank you, darling. She's got a lovely, lovely one. I wonder if I can, I bet you anything you like. I can't find it. It's beautiful. It's wooden. It's really sharp. It's got a seam ripper one end, and it's got a stiletto the other end. So there's one side done. So now we're going to attach the other side. So again, don't forget you're putting your your strap up against the line. You're not going over the top of it. You can, but it just will be different to the pattern. Let's just go back. And then just follow it around again. There we go. Like I say, about 5 or 6 stitches. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. You've got to remember the size of the bag, so nothing about it needs to be clumsy. It all wants to be fairly delicate, I would say. That's my opinion. That's the intention. And also, you're not going to put the crown jewels in here, are you? You're just going to have a few little bits and bobs. So bring your strap round, make sure it's sitting straight, and then don't twist it. I mean, it's only a little strap, you shouldn't have any bother. And then line it up again, go across, try and keep it straight. That's it, that'll do. And then across. Oh, well, I'm going to reverse that because it came off the edge. And just take your time. I mean, you know, I kind of rush a little bit, and I know some of you can keep up, but I know some of you can't. But it's good to see the video, and it's good to see it made. So there we are. So there is our handles installed, our little straps installed. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, gosh. Oh, we've got a bit of spam in the group. Oh, that's interesting. If anybody can delete that, I don't think you can you? We've got some, oh, let me just see if I can, let me put you on the front view just for a minute. Let's see if I can, there we go. Let's see if I can get rid of that now. I'm not sure I can, but we'll see. It's unusual, isn't it, to have that? I don't know if I can. It's, see if I can. Let me just bear with. It's not very pleasant when people do that. Let's see. Oops. Oh goodness sake. Sorry guys. Sorry. Bear with. I'm just going to... Oh, Kath says she's just blocked her. Thank you, Kath. You're an absolute angel. Right. See, my admin team is so gorgeous. I love them. So there we are. That's what you've made. So now we're going to put the zip in. Oh, thank you so much, because it's so stressful when you see stuff like that. It's so rubbish. So just keep an eye on it, guys. There's a few, says Jackie. Oh, see what you can do, guys, because it's just a nuisance, isn't it? So with the zip, you're making a zip sandwich as normal. Let's just see if we can get you on the side so you can see. You may want to consider what side you're going to put your zip slider on, but in this instance, I don't think it matters a jot. And I've got the most enormous zip here. But so what you're going to do is put your right side of your zip facing up. You can see the slider, you can see the teeth there, and I'm going to put the right side of my fabric down. Okay, it doesn't matter where it's going to go because it's such a large piece of zippage. So my lovely pretty fabric is actually facing right sides onto my zip, and then the lining goes underneath. I mean, I could have done this a different way. Let's do it properly. So lining right side up, that's good, that's nice and visual. Then we've got our zip right side up. Okay, you can see the teeth just about, and then our gorgeous pretty fabric we're putting right side down, and you're matching all of those 3 pieces up. And I just use the zipper foot on my machine to stitch wherever I can down there. Thank you very much, Diane. You're a star. Thank you. See if it's unusual, actually. I don't think I've ever had anybody spam a live before. Isn't it interesting? Not. So put my zipper foot on, and all I'm going to do is stitch those 3 layers together. You look, it's the same every single time we do a zip sandwich. So it's right side of the lining showing, right side of your zip showing, and the right side of your best nice pretty fabric is facing down. Okay, and we're just going to make sure all our layers are sitting beautifully on top of each other, and then we're just going to stitch. Let me just bring the machine in. We're just going to stitch across those 3 layers. Now obviously you'll probably want to they'll probably want to pin this. We'll use quilter's tape. Thank you. There's lots of people saying they've blocked people. Goodness gracious. Right, so I'm losing my track of my things. So yes, so with my zipper foot, it never stitches that close to the zip teeth, but yours might. So you do whatever your machine does. I mean, ideally, you're going to make a, you don't want the fabric too near the teeth. That's what I'm trying to say, because you've got to open the zip up nicely, nice and easily. So look, there's my layer going all the way across. You might get a little bit nearer to the teeth than me, but you know my zipper foot won't allow it for that to happen. So then we're going to flip it through, and I'm going to top stitch. Now this is the easy bit. I'm not going to deny it that this is the easy bit. You'll find the other side a little bit more tricky, and I'm just being honest with you there, but it is nice to top stitch. So I'm just going all the way across. Try to get all your layers sitting nicely, and you'll see me pulling my lining like this, okay? Oh, I have to block from my end. Well, I can't do that. So we'll just have to bear with it. I can delete it afterwards. So I always pull the lining, and that makes sure it's sitting well underneath all these layers. I can control the top, but I can't control the lining, okay? So, and the other thing is the top stitching must be really close to the edge of your fabric there, your fold. It's got to be really close, look. There we go. So now we're going to do the other side. So if you've never done this before, this might be so confusing for you because we kind of flip and all sorts of things. So let's just lay this out flat. Now I really would like you to press everything. I'm not pressing, but I would like you to, because it makes a super job. So you can see I've stitched my outer and my lining onto the zip. You can see it's far too big, but don't worry about that. I'm now going to flip my top piece over. So let me do it so you can see. So I'm bringing this top piece over. I'm ignoring my strap. I'm bringing my top piece over, tucking my strap in as I go, and putting that right on top of my zip. Look, you can see that, it's beautiful. But I want to make sure that it's lined up with the fabric underneath, and I'm going to pop a clip in there just to hold it temporarily. Okay, and I want it so it's lined up with this bottom fabric here. Okay, make sure that you haven't sort of wriggled it across ½ an inch, because that would be such a shame. So there's our outer piece, you can see that, but now we want to bring that piece underneath. Okay, so I'm lifting this up, getting hold of my lining, I'm flipping it underneath, and I'm just going to bring those layers together. Again, make sure you've got all those layers absolutely sitting beautifully. Now the thing about it now is that you should have 2 kind of pouches, if you like. You've got the lining one and you've got the outer one. And if I turn it like that, you can see that I've sort of caught the zip in there. We've got the right side still showing, we've got the right side of the lining showing, and we've got our right side of our pretty fabric over the top of the teeth on that top edge. Now if you didn't get that, watch that bit back, okay? Because I sometimes think that's quite confusing to know how to do that bit. So again, I'm going to stitch all the 3 layers, like I said before, and I'm a bit like a broken record, but try and keep all of these layers sitting dead on top of each other. Look, you can see this hasn't moved this way or that way, it's sitting right on top. And obviously you're going to perhaps put a clip in there or a pin, whatever you like, quilter's tape, glue it, whatever you like. I don't kind of say what you should do, but I mean, you can pin it, you can use your quilting clips, you could use your quilter's tape to glue it, you could use wet glue to glue it if you want to. Just find something that works for you, makes it easy, okay? So there is our stitching done, so that should all be done. Now, we need to top stitch this other side, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because we've got to kind of turn it through and wriggle it about. There we go. And this is why I asked you to get a slightly longer zip, because this could help you. Let's just get all the layers sitting nicely. So where you've ironed it beautifully, you've now creased it to heck. There's our zip installed. Okay, there's our little zip slider there, and I'm just ignoring it at the moment, but we do want to top stitch on this side. Now we can open up this zip all the way down there and start stitching there, and it gets easier as you go along, or you can start stitching there and open this zip up as you go. Whatever you do, do not go you do not let your zip slider come off the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch from this end, because maybe that's how you've got it. I don't know, but you know, you decide what's best for you. But again, like I said, it's quite tricky because the bag is already kind of made in a way. So I'm just going to start it off, put my needle down. You can see what it looks like. It just, you know, you think, what on earth? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my slider as far as I dare. Now, what you could do, and I'm going to see if I've got one handy, yep, is get a safety pin. This is a quilter's pin, and you can just pop it, just make sure my lining is sitting nicely, is just pop it on the end, and that will stop you losing your slider. You could obviously machine across there, or hand stitch across there, okay? So you can decide what you're going to do. So let's just get all this gubbins out of the way. So by opening up the zip, I've now opened up the whole thing. Can you see? It's much, much easier. You can see now straight away, much, much easier. Are we freezing a little bit? I'm so sorry about that. So what we're going to do is top stitch now across the other side. Just make sure your lining is out of the way, and just come down. Like I said, it's not as easy this side, so be patient with it. And I would press all of these stages, and so I'm going to move my slider as far down as I dare and just come along. And you could stop top stitching, you know, sort of ½ an inch before the end if you want. You don't have to go right off the end. So there's our top stitching done on the other side. There we go. So now my zip is installed and it's top stitched both sides, which is lovely. It's all lovely and neat. And of course you can press that now. I'll just make sure I haven't caught anything. You can press that now. So now what we need to do is we need to open that zip again. Don't forget, guys, open that zip. I'm going to remove my pin. So there we are, I've opened it up. Now what we need to do is to stitch the bags together. We need to leave a turning gap in the lining. So just, you're going to turn it through again. Just watch that slider. Like I say, they're easy enough to put back on, but it's just a jolly nuisance when you forget. and you just slide it off. So you'll see this shape in the pattern. You'll see this shape, okay? That's what it looks like. So we're going to stitch all of these together. Well, you're going to stitch along one side completely. So let me hold it up so you can see. Ignore the zip for the moment. We're going to stitch all the way along from here to here, okay? And then on this side, the other side, the opposite side, just get my strap out of the way, we're going to stitch all the way along here, about an inch past the zip. I'm going to leave a nice turning gap of at least 3.5 inches, and then finish stitching down the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to stop stitching there, leaving that gap, and then stitch the remaining part down to the bottom. And obviously we can trim this as we go. So I'm just going to change my foot. Oh, I think we're doing well tonight, guys. I have to say, I'm quite pleased so far that we haven't lost anybody. And we're still going. Right, so of course you can pin it. I keep saying that because you know, you'll think, oh, you don't have to pin it, but gosh, you must if you're feeling you're not very confident. So 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we're starting from where one of the box corners is, so obviously the opposite side to that, and I'm just going to go straight down. When we get to the zip, all I'm going to do is fold the zip teeth to the lining. So I want you to see this. So I'm just going to fold the zip teeth to the lining, and that's how I'm going to stitch the zip in place. Now if you've done a really big top stitch, you know, wide, you might have a little bit of bother there, because you've taken up fabric perhaps you shouldn't have done in some ways. You might have a different way of doing the zip now. If you've got zip tabs, of course it makes for a neat end, but I didn't want that actually on this pattern. I truly didn't. I actually quite like the roundedness of the... Oh, I did do a turning gap and I said I wasn't going to. There we are. There's my turning gap there, and I can trim that bit of zippage off now. There we go, just trim it. Sorry it's off camera. There we go. So now we're going to do the other side, and this time we're going to go all the way along. I'm flipping it over, so it means that when I come to the zip again, it's kind of in the right place for me to push it into the lining. But you want to make sure that it's equally pushed in. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy, because with this it hasn't got an open... Don't forget your zip open. Yes, I've done it. This hasn't got an open end like the other one, so we're just going to push all of the teeth to the lining like that. Can you see that? And then I'm just going to pop my lining over the top. So we're folding the zip in half. And obviously it doesn't want to do that. It wants to do something else. But you've got to tell it, you're boss. And hopefully it'll come out absolutely gorgeous. And if you feel that it hasn't come out as nicely as you wanted to do, then do it again. Unpick it, do it again, make another one, keep practicing, find what works best for you, because you know what, we're all different, aren't we? We're all different, and some struggle with these, some don't. So hi Millie, hi Millie Moo. Oh, I can't stroke you because I've got the ladies here, okay? Right, I'll go back to the front in a minute. So there's our bag completed. Inside there, my zip is open, okay? Don't forget. So now we're going to box the corners. So all of these corners are going to be boxed, and then we'll turn it through. And I will, now, let me just quickly show if you've never done a box corner before. Get hold of the inner corner, pinch it. Get hold of the other corner, pinch it, and it should, with any luck, sit straight. Okay, it should sit straight, and there's your corner, and you're just going to stitch 1/4 inch along there. But we've got a nice picture in the pattern, so hopefully you can follow that fairly easily. Right, so I'm just going to stitch those corners. So are we safe to come out to play now? Have we got rid of our intruders? Oh, aren't they silly? We'll have to Actually, I get that on YouTube when I upload a video. I always get the most random comments, really random. And you think, oh, please don't waste your time. Go find somebody else that's interested, whoever that might be. Oh dear. So not appropriate to sewing. Oops, cut my threads. There we are. So not appropriate to sewing. Right, let's just finish this. So hopefully you're going to make a few of these gorgeous little iron bags. And of course they don't have to be iron bags, do they? They can be anything. And I'm sure I saw a comment in the Making It Monday Facebook group that said that the lady was going to make them for her granddaughters. Now wouldn't that be lovely? Because that's just the right size, isn't it? So I'm just doing the last corner. Now if you want to, you can open up that seam. Let me do it so you can see it. That seam there, you can open it up if you want to. Okay, you might find your machine may struggle over a double layer of wadding. This won't, but I know yours might, so just be respectful. There we go. Gosh, you've got lots of comments coming through now. Right, it's a weird world tonight. So there we are. So we've boxed our corners, we've got a turning gap, we've got the zip open. With any luck, we've got a bag. And also don't forget to give it an iron and stitch your turning gap. You know I sometimes do. Mostly I don't. all the Lizzy makes that I sent out when it was birthday week in the gold group, most of them needed their turning gap stitched. Isn't that wicked? I sent about 20 out of what things that I'd made, and yeah, I didn't check them because I thought I'm not going to check them because I don't want to. I haven't got the time to stitch like 20 turning gaps. So I thought, well, that's something for you to do when you get them home. And then you could have a little moan. Oh gosh. Right, so I'm just poking my corners through. Now what you could do is where your turning gap is, you can put your implement of torture, whatever that is, through the turning gap so you can get those corners pushed out better. And then stitch your turning gap. Okay. It looks a bit rumpled. So then hold on, let me stitch it. I don't want any of you telling me off. I don't want any of you saying, you really should do that, Lizzy. Maybe I should. Oh dear. Right, so just get hold of each end of, so put your needle in one end with the fabric folded in, get hold of the other end with your hand, pull it, and that'll put the two raw edges inside your bag, and it should give you two lovely folded edges that you can just stitch. If it doesn't, then you can always use your quilter's tape again. So stitched it, you'll be proud of me. And then just push through, get your finger, and make sure it's a strong one. I'm not sure this is strong enough. I've got my Harry Potter wand, so that's probably strong enough. And push that zip out. Now you could trim some of that seam away. You could trim some of the zip away. It will all help. You could put your zip tabs on, as we've already discussed. But just get your lining straight. Mine's a bit twisted in there. That's better. So that should give you, just want to poke that out a bit more. Spend a bit of time on it. Just be careful what you're using. Don't use scissors at this stage. Use a blunt tool, because you need to give it a bit of welly to push it out. And there we are. We have another Irene. Could do with a press. I could do with the press. What do you think? Isn't it sweet? I love this fabric. I might have to see if they've got any more, because I've nearly used it all up. but after a little press it's fine, and it's got a nice flat bottom, you see, because we put the Decaville there. So it kind of sits nicely. Look, it sits just nicely. I'm not going to put my iron in because I didn't use Thermolam. So if you want to use it where you're going to, let me just test. Oh, it's not too bad. So if you're going to put a hot iron in there, please use Thermolam or something like that. I nosedive mine in, and then it fits in nicely. Just push it in. There we go. And if I unplug it, roll it all up. It's not good for wires really, is it? But if you're just taking it away, maybe you can take it to the caravan, or I don't know, maybe, you know, when we go to workshops, take it to a workshop. It's not too bad, is it, if you're just folding it and rolling it up just for that? It's still not quite right. Anyway, it all fits in there. A treat, because that's what I made it for. There we go. So it's, you can see it's made it quite, it's distorted it now completely, but there we are. And you can see, if you can't see on the screen maybe, but you can, I can still see my blue lines because I need to give it a press from my pen. So there we are. So it fits beautifully, but also of course it'll fit your jewellery, it'll fit your makeup, it'll fit, you know, little things for little girls, hairbands and baubles. And the one thing we like as stitchers is things for putting things in, storage. That's what we love more than anything. Yeah, so there we are. So one without straps but with zip tabs, that would be great for a makeup bag. Like I say, they've got a nice big wide bottom, so it'll sit really beautifully on a counter. Look, can you see? Really nice, really stable. And then we've got my fruity one, which I love, and my little girl's one. Super. So there we are. That is project number 28, and she's called Irene. And the one thing I must tell you is that this week we changed things. This week we are going to launch the pattern next Monday lunchtime. So a week on Monday, on the lunchtime, around about midday again, might be earlier, might be a bit later, depending what I'm doing. It'll be launched then, so it gives you plenty of time to download it, plenty of time to cut your fabric out. We don't start till 7, so even if you're working, you've got enough time to get home and to print it and cut. And to be perfectly honest, I would much rather you watch the video on how to put the project together, and then you make at your leisure, rather than trying to rush and keep up with me and trying to second guess if you don't know and don't understand the pattern. So it'll still be free for 5 days, so that'll be Monday to Friday, and then it's £1 or $1.40, and yeah, so nothing has changed other than the day. And I thought that would be a much better idea, because then we can all make it together. We're all in the same boat, because I only make the prototypes, I don't make any more, so I almost start from scratch. So just get your fabric ready. You know they're not going to be difficult, you know they're going to be super easy. So it's just a case of cutting out and joining in. And to be honest, I don't use a lot of hardware. I don't want any of the patterns to be challenging in any way. I want this to be a pleasant experience for everybody. Oh, I wish. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in again this week. I really appreciate your company. It's oh, Chris says it's her mum's name, Irene. Oh, that's really lovely. Of course, Chris has got a broken arm at the moment, so I'm sorry about that, Chris. Just think of all the projects you're going to do and write them down. Oh, if it's the wrong hand, get your other half to write them down or type them out with one finger, so you've got a list of what you're going to make. So don't forget to check out the website and look for all the other MIMs. We've got 28, so there might be 1 or 2 that you haven't got yet. I've also put on the website, it's all brand new today. That's what I've been doing all day, is updating the website. We've got new special offers on patterns, so go and check those out. We've got, I'm going to try and remember now what we've got. And I can't remember, I'm not even going to try. So go and check out the website and see what you can find. Don't forget, in about half an hour, this video tutorial will still be on my Facebook page. It'll also be on my website under video tutorials for MIMS. So it says MIMS video tutorials. You can always go there. Or in about half an hour, it'll be on YouTube as well, which is great because there's so many different places we can go to find the video tutorials. So if you missed anything and you didn't understand, just go and look on the website, on YouTube, on this page. They're all over the place. I'm prolific. Right. So thank you very much indeed for watching. I really appreciate your company. It's such a lovely, lovely day. And I would never ever stop just because it's a bank holiday. The only day I suppose would be exception is Christmas Day. Let's see if we're still going. What project number would be up by Christmas Day? Any ideas? 60, 70 something? I think I'll run out of ideas before then. I might have to start again. I'll put them on a spinning wheel and pick one different one out every week of ones that I've done. I don't know. Just joking with you. Right, so I will see you all again. I'm just going to sign off. I haven't got any videos to play with you. I've just got me because we're waiting for this fabulous new technology that we've ordered. Ooh, can't wait. Ooh, it's going to be coming on a massive truck. No, it's not. It's going to be about this big. But it could be on a massive truck that I could get super excited about because I do like a bit of technology. And we're going to bring it up here. We're going to plug it all in and hopefully it's going to be spectacular. Gosh, I hope so. Anyway, I'll see you all next week. If you're part of my gold online sewing group, I shall see you on Thursday. Oh, got a super surprise for you on Thursday. Oh my gosh, a super surprise. We had Natasha McCarthy last week. We've got a super surprise this week as well. So watch out for that if you're in my online sewing group, my gold group. And the guest for June, you will absolutely love with a passion, but that is just my online sewing group. So if you're part of that, I'll see you Thursday. If not, I shall see you Monday night next week at 7 o'clock. So let's just see if we can end this stream. Bye everybody. Bye.